Going on, fellas? Welcome back to the corner. The only corner where we selling statistics and knowledge and not dope and pussy. We're here, fellas. This is your round one college football playoff preview. I'm going in order of time slot, in order of games. Before we get this started, I do just want to say, no, Notre Dame has not handled you could possibly say snub very well. They've had their AD went on an absolute media tour, trashing the committee, all this stuff. Boys, when you come down to it, the parameters were there, the reasons are there. Miami's in. I think they have reason to be upset, and not because Miami's in it. I think they have reason to be upset for the sole purpose that JMU and Tulane are in. I think that it can be frustrated. I don't think they have any reason to feel like they were left out, because I think personally that it should have. I think Vandy should be the second team out, and I think Notre Dame should be the first team out. BYU should be nowhere near the top 14, being blown out and absolutely shut down by Texas Tech, a top 14. One of the teams that you're gonna have to get through. With that being said, Tulane, JMU, we're gonna take a little bit of a dive into what we think. What I think is going to happen, a little bit of a year in review of the 8 teams that are playing on Friday and Saturday. 2 games that I'm obviously excited for is the Alabama at Oklahoma game and the Miami at Texas A&M game. Now they are getting them out of the way. They are the first 2 games we're going to talk about right now. First off, this Alabama-Oklahoma game. It is by far the most intriguing game. It could go either way. If Oklahoma's offense comes out and acts like they did the first 4 games of the season, it's in the bag. It's in the bag. It doesn't matter what Alabama's offense does. The last time they played, they held Bama to 200 yards. They had 200 yards themselves only. But before Mateer's surgery, he was 67%. He had 6 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Now, this is in the first 4 weeks of the season. He missed 2 to 3 games, and then he played 5 or 6 games. Boys, after the surgery, he was 59% completion rating with a 6 to 7 touchdown to interception ratio. That is abysmal. But this defense, I mean, they had a +3 turnover margin against Alabama in November, and that was in Tuscaloosa, boys. So I'm very excited to see what Oklahoma. I mean, I think people are counting Oklahoma out. I believe Alabama is a 1.5 favorite right now. I'm taking I'm taking Oklahoma all day. Can Bama get the running game going? That is going to be the question, because Ty Simpson has proved he's Ty Simpson. He's going to get it done. He's going to do what he's supposed to. He's going to be who he is. He's not going to be Superman. But I don't believe he'll underachieve. I don't think he's going to flop in a big game like this. And can Oklahoma get some offense going is on the other side of the ball. Both defenses are top 50. We'll say top 50. But Oklahoma's defense is lights out. I mean, they have completely leaned on their defense here in the last 6 weeks of the season. A couple players to keep an eye out for. Elijah Satenga III, obviously. And Oklahoma is getting R. Mason Thomas, the defensive end rusher, the pass rusher back leads the team in sacks, has not played since November 1st, still leads the team in sacks with 6.5. So I'm very, very, very excited to see what he adds to this defense, who's already been lights out, locked down. And then Alabama, we were looking for Ty Simpson, Jaron Bernard. Now, if Jam Miller can get going, obviously, would love to see that. But he has not exactly showed up in certain games, so I digress. Next is this Miami-Texas A&M game. Now, let me tell you, Carson Beck is fool's gold. Please do not play with it. Please do not believe that shit. All of these, everybody is hyping up this game to at least try to make it seem like they deserve to be in there, or to make up for the fact that Notre Dame's been out here showing their fucking ass, you know what I mean, on the street, acting like a damn hoodlum. With that being said, it's Kyle Field, fellas. It's College Station. It's hard enough to win there without it being a fucking playoff game. A&M's getting Scooby Williams back on defense. This defense has been absolutely dominant, has been locked down. They are lead the nation in sacks, sack yardage, tackles for a loss yardage. Now, tackles for a loss, they're just third in the nation. This defense is ridiculous. You go back and watch some of their big games they had, and just the tone that defense sets. They're not fucking around. I mean, if they come out and they play like they did in some of these games, show the world, yes, they did play the bottom 6 teams from the SEC, but I think they're going to handle Miami here. Now, with that being said, the defense is... Oh, they're first in the nation in sacks, too. Just in terms of period. They're averaging 3.5 a game. On the other side of the ball, it's going to be A&M averaging 454 yards a game. 192 of that is rushing. 261 of it through the air, scoring 36 points a game, and they've only allowed 12 sacks all season. I think. Now, I have seen Miami's rush defense has been okay. It has been pretty good in terms of a mobile quarterback with Marcel, who has got a 61% passer rating, 2,932 yards, damn near 3,000, has almost 500 yards on the ground as a quarterback. He's averaging 245 yards through the air a game, 31 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. But Miami's defense, and I saw this, I believe, from Josh Pate or CBS. I believe it was Josh Pate, though. Byron Brown, Kevin Jennings, DJ Lagway, Tommy Castellanos, and Kyron Drones. Between all 5 of those dual threat quarterbacks, all together, they have 74 rushing yards. So Marcel's going to have to hit some of these throws. Some of these games like LSU, some of those games, Marcel was missing some of those throws. I believe 3 of his 10 interceptions came in one game against LSU, maybe at Carolina, but he's going to have to be on point. Now, Miami's offense, they're playing in the ACC, one of the worst conferences. They're averaging 425 yards a game, 150 rushing yards, 275 passing yards. They're scoring 34 points per game, but they've allowed 34 sacks all season long. Carson Beck has been probably sacked more than most quarterbacks in the Power 5, honestly. Especially top 50 quarterbacks. So, I believe, personally, this game is going to be an absolute blowout. Texas A&M has a little chip on their shoulder with not being in the SEC championship, losing late. I mean, they were my pick to win the SEC for a majority of the season. So I think I'm very excited to see them take it out on Carson Beck as a Dog fan. Let them know, but people to watch out for in this game. Obviously, Marcel Reed, Mario Craver, and Casey Concepcion. Ruben Owens for Texas A&M, the running back. We're going to need him to get going, have some type of rushing game, because obviously this defense, Miami defense, is not letting quarterbacks scramble. So they're going to need Craver and Concepcion to step up, get open, play a little one-on-one, and be a playoff team. Show them that they are deserve to be a top 4 team. With that being said, Carson Beck, on the other hand, somebody to watch out for. Malachi Toney, the freshman, who has been an absolute fucking problem for everyone they've played, has absolutely kept this Miami Hurricanes team in the conversation. Carson Beck, 74.5% completion rating. That's phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie. 3,000 yards, has 256 yards per game average, and a 25-10 touchdown interception split. Like I said, I don't think Miami hangs with Texas A&M in the slightest bit. Then we've got the 2 games that, hey, it's going to be some football. It's going to be playoff football. We've got Tulane going to Oxford to play Ole Miss. Now, Tulane played week 4. Ole Miss got the 45-10 win, and they were up 45-3 with about 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Tulane defense they're letting 375 yards a freaking game, giving up. I mean, they're just letting it fly. Rebel offense, 500-yard average, 300 and 200 split, scoring 37 points per game. I think that Trinidad Chambliss and Kewan Lacey are absolutely my favorite duo of the playoffs. Honestly, you could say of the playoffs, but I think of the year they were extremely fun to watch. Just the storyline on top of everything. So I think Ole Miss, those two on top of Harrison Wallace III, will have a little bit to prove here in this game. That yes, Lane Kiffin is gone, but Ole Miss is still here to play, and they still are a 10-2 football team. And the only 2 losses they have are to Georgia and I believe Alabama. Maybe A&M, but they're both tough losses, man. JMU. Actually, Ole Miss might only have 1 loss if we're being honest, and it might only be to the Dogs. Trinidad Chambliss, 65.5% completion rating, 3,000 yards. He missed the first 2 or 3 games of the season, and he's putting up 3,000 yards, boys. Man came from an HBCU. There is no stats on this man before this year. Do not play with it. He is going to be a problem. Someone needs to draft him. 18 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions all year long. Kewan Lacey, 258 touches for 1,280 yards, 20 touchdowns. The man's been a problem, whether it be from outside the red zone, on the 2, Kewan Lacey has put the ball in the end zone and put up yards every single game. I mean, for what has happened to this team, I think Ole Miss is being slept on. They are a problem. Alonzo Barnett for JMU. JMU is playing Oregon. They're going to Eugene. They're going to get fucked up, boys. This team is absolutely atrocious. They do have a running back. Wayne Knight has 190 touches for 1,200 yards, 6.5 yard average, and 9 touchdowns. Let me get this straight right now. That's not happening on a Dan Lanning football team. I don't care if it's Oregon, Georgia, or if it's Alabama. They're not rushing for that many yards. Wayne Knight will be shut down. Now, Alonzo Barnett has only had 3 interceptions. I think 3, maybe 5 interceptions in the last 2 years put together. I'm not saying Oregon's going to come out and pick them off, but they do have a decent secondary out there this year. That Oregon secondary has locked shit down. The only loss that this Oregon team has is to an Indiana team that won their conference. They're the number 1 seed in this playoffs, and Oregon lost 30-20. They put points up. Now the defense is going to have to lock down. Of course, they're going to have to lock this playoff game, but the offense is an absolute problem. 38 points per game, 465 yards a game. Points per game, they are 9th in the nation, 13th in the nation in yards per game. They're 8th in the nation in turnovers at only 9 in the year, all year long. 14th in the nation in rushing yards per game at 218. They have 3 or 4 running backs that will run straight through your nose, around you. I mean, they are a problem. On top of 250 yards a game passing. High-powered offense on top of you're not moving the ball down the field on them quickly. So that is a recipe for a winner. Now, Dante Moore, 72% completion rating. That's phenomenal. 2,700 yards, a 24-6 interception, a touchdown split. Jordan Davison, 88 rushes for 535 yards. That's 13 touchdowns. The other running back that they have, Noah Whittington, 112 touches for 774 yards and 6 touchdowns. I mean, it's obvious they have a formula. Everyone has a role, and they play it. And now through the air, Malik Benson, 31 catches for 526 yards and 4 touchdowns. And then the tight end, he's one of my favorite players in the nation, Kenyon Sadiq, with 40 catches for 490 yards and 8 touchdowns through the air. And he missed a game or two. Now, the game against Iowa, they struggled. Yes, it was raining hard. They were missing 3 or 4, maybe even 5 starters all together on both sides of the football. Oregon's going to shut shit down right here. And Wayne, now Alonzo Barnett has a 59% completion rating, 2,500 yards, a 8-yard damn near average, a 21-8 touchdown interception split, and has 115 rushes for 544 yards and 14 touches. It's not happening. You know, this JMU team, I love it because they have, I believe they've only lost 2 games in the last 2 years. They falled out, but I don't believe that I don't see them scoring on Oregon at all, boys. I really don't. I don't. Their coach, just like the Tulane coach, John Trammell, has absolutely voice. The fact that he has no idea why they are in the playoffs isn't. They're not going to be competitive. Doesn't believe they are. Now, a lot of Florida's current players, recruits, and all types of things have put in transfer requests and all types of things for the simple fact of his attitude towards this whole thing, and even being in the playoffs it's like he doesn't understand it. He doesn't get it. So, I think Oregon handles them. I think Ole Miss handles them. I think Oklahoma gets the win, and I think Texas A&M gets the win. Oklahoma will go on to play Indiana. I think Oregon is going to go on to play Texas Tech. Ole Miss will play the Dogs, and A&M will play Ohio State. Now we'll see you Tuesday, boys. We got a big weekend. We have the weekend we've all been waiting for right here. I think it's going to be a little bit better than a lot of people think. I think these games will not be. I don't think the Ole Miss game will be a blowout. Ole Miss's defense has been shiesty this year, so I think Tulane will be able to put some points on the board. I think JMU Oregon is an absolute lock for a blowout. I believe it's 17.5, maybe 21.5. But come on, boys, let's get it. Let's get it. Big weekend, round one. Doses.